Yeah, this kind of just happened. Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Redwood4765, and Midnight Gemlord. Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Redwood4765, and Midnight Gemlord. Now, if you remember this breakdown / discussion on assault mode and like what the heck it is, please do me a favor and leave your own thoughts on assault mode in the comments section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a Patreon down below. It's more for as low as $1 a month, including exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, you can become a member of the channel for low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? Ugly Pencil here, and so I was writing another explain video, and it was specifically explaining Meliodas' like entire kit, what it was, doing a brief overview, and then like planning more videos on top of that. And then I like sat down and I looked at assault mode, and like it is just something that we just don't really get any information on. Like, all we hear about it is it's the form that Meliodas took when he was leader of the 10 Commandments, but the only thing is, in all the images that we see of Prime Meliodas, we only get one look at him in assault mode, and it's the one panel we have of him meeting Elizabeth for the first time. And that is it. Nakaba tells us nothing about it, like, other than showing us what it is, telling us when he may have used it, nothing. It kind of just happens. And notably, Demon Mark kind of just happens, but that's a universal ability of demons. It is just a thing they can all do. Is it a little bit random? Is it a little bit wild? Yes, but yeah, it got an explanation in the fact that it was just a widespread thing. It became a standard for most demons, rather than being an exception. True magic is also an exception. However, it was explained. It was as poorly as it was explained, and as much as I don't like it as a plot device and a transformation as a whole, true magic had an explanation. It was Meliodas' true abilities that happened to come with a form. Okay. Then we just have assault mode. And it exists. And no one else has it. Like, no one. Other demons don't even really acknowledge the existence of it, despite Meliodas spending a healthy chunk of the series in it. Like, Esterosa, who he can give a pass for, because, you know, maybe Gotha didn't fill in all those gaps, but Zeldris should have some sort of reaction to seeing his brother in assault mode, because he rarely uses it. Actually, I can think of one other time when he used assault mode. It was in a flashback with Zeldris. But where did it come from? How did he develop it? Why does he not teach other demons this technique? Can he not teach other demons this technique? When did he unlock it? How did he unlock it? Like, all these questions kind of just float around assault mode. And a big question about it is, what is the multiplier for assault mode? Because that also is pretty random. You could just use the power levels that are given to us and just say, oh, well, assault mode is around a 2.4 times multiplier because, well, you know, Meliodas at the time had a power level of 60,000, and then his power level in assault mode was 142,000. But the reason I don't like that is because of the narrative behind assault mode. Demon Mark Meliodas and assault mode Meliodas are two entirely different beasts. And Demon Mark Meliodas alone is a 2 times amp. So what good would assault mode be? Though ironically enough, Demon Mark Meliodas is weird in power levels too, because he's not a 2 times amp apparently, even though we literally see his power doubled when Bond slips it all up and he proceeds to one-shot a fully Meliodas amp Bond. But hey, whatever. I guess it's not a 2 times amp according to power levels, and that's why it's weird, right? Because essentially nothing about the form is explained, but it's a form that Meliodas maintains more than he maintains Demon Mark. Like, assault mode after the Escanor fight kind of just becomes his base until he goes into the cocoon, and then he just sticks with his regular base form for the rest of the series, and no one questions it. And I don't blame anyone. It's not like we questioned it for the longest time, and I don't see anyone questioning it now. It's just like, oh, assault mode, new form for Mel, cool. But I don't know. Seems a little bit strange. Especially considering it seems like a form that other demons would be able to copy pretty easily. Like, Derriere is almost halfway to assault mode all the time. Like, she's just consistently coated in darkness to varying degrees. So is Mon Speet, and heck, is Grey Road in assault mode? Like, the description of it, or at least his general appearance, also doesn't tell you much about the form. Because if you think it's just Mel coated in darkness and that he actually doesn't get an amp, arguably a little bit viable. But the only reason we know it gives you an amp is because it's a higher level than Demon Mark. Like, he needed the form to break out of Dark Cocoon. But with that being the case, if you needed that form to break out the Dark Cocoon, it can't just be a 0.4 times amp. Unless in Demon Mark, Meliodas was already pushing it. So I legitimately don't know. And the thing is, Assault Mode is a state that doesn't even, like, stay consistent within itself, because Meliodas gets stronger after he enters Assault Mode without his soul in his body, or his emotions, or whatever. Because as we see, bro goes from a cool, chill, nice 142,000, according to numbers, weaker than Chandler and Cusack in their transcended states, to, according to Zeldris, being stronger than him. And Zeldris, in something like Ominous Nebula, even while suppressed, is able to manhandle Ludisha with a power level of 201,000. You see why I don't like power level? But regardless, it's just a weird form. And the weirdest thing is, like, despite how powerful the form is implied to be, he actually rarely uses it. The form does very little relative to its other two major comparisons in Meliodas' kit, which is Demon Mark in all of its levels, and then finally, actual True Magic. Because what does Assault Mode actually do other than lose to Escanor because he's not taking him seriously, and then disappear? I mean, I suppose you could say it helps take out the Demon King, but not really. The commandment stuck around, and you need a True Magic for that. So the form is like Super Saiyan 3, where it shows up, looks cool, exists for a while, and does nothing. Demon Mark accomplishes more than it, Base accomplishes more than it, and even in Four Knights of the Apocalypse, we don't see Mel go into it yet. Admittedly, he still can. Obviously, there should be no reason why he couldn't. And you can definitely tell by the context of the Arthur fight that he just honestly wasn't taking it too seriously, to the point where he's running at Arthur in base, only activating Demon Mark to save his kid. Like, Assault Mode is just a form that's weirdly positioned in the narrative. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I think it's really cool. In fact, it's my favorite form of Meliodas. Like, out of his transformations, at least. I like it more than Demon Mark, and I definitely like it more than True Magic. It feels like the most demonic of all of his forms, clearly, just because it's coated in darkness, and I love the way that Nakaba draws it. And I think the deep, dark, heavily saturated ink design works really well to represent what that form is meant to represent. Meliodas is holder of the Ten Commandments. But another thing is, bro, like, never uses it, even back then. Like, when he went to square off with Ludisha, when Ludisha was trying to interrupt Elizabeth, bro didn't go Assault Mode. He went Demon Mark. Even when all three Archangels came up and he thought he had to throw hands with them, he still didn't go Assault Mode. In the fight against the two deities, where we see him, for the very limited time we do see him, he's not in Assault Mode. He's just in Demon Mark. Why not? Like, it's a form that feels like it should appear more often and do more than it actually does. So not only is it a mystery on just like, oh, where did it come from? Where did he learn it from? How did he activate it? Can other demons do it? Like, it's a weird form in of itself, and also a weird form on a narrative level. And especially considering it has that super duper juper weird instance where it is retroactively made canon that 10 years past Meliodas had access to the form. And if you don't remember, 10 years past Meliodas is equal to post-Druid Meliodas. But for some reason, he didn't whip it out against the Ten Commandments? Like, on an external level, on a meta level, I understand why he didn't. Because Nakaba didn't think of Assault Mode at that point. I'm confident. I am willing to bet no money, because I do not have it, but I'm willing to bet that at the time of writing the Ten Commandments fight, Nakaba just flat out hadn't thought of Assault Mode. It was just a thing he didn't do, and thusly that's why he didn't use it. But that also makes me wonder why he retroactively made it canon, that it did exist in 10 years past, and thusly Meliodas did have access to it, but that one didn't drive him crazy. And like, the thing is, why did Assault Mode cause Meliodas' soul to leave his body? Like, what was that entire plot point? Like, it's not like he died. Like, straight up, I was wondering what caused him to leave the body. Because when he goes Assault Mode, for some reason, he just reverts to his, like, past personality. And notably, this is kind of considered an extension of him losing control of himself, because he already lost some of his emotions when he last died against the Ten Commandments, against Estarossa. So you could argue it's a continuation from that. But, like, if that's the case, why did he suddenly lose all of his emotions after losing to Escanor? Because it's not like he died there. Like, at least nothing implies that Escanor slaughtered Meliodas. They don't say, Escanor, what the heck? Why'd you kill him? Like, they didn't say that. And he also didn't go through like a 6-month revival period. Like, remember, the whole time skip in Seven Deadly Sins, the only major time skip in Seven Deadly Sins that's not the ending, happens because Meliodas straight up got packed. But somehow, awakening Assault Mode again after 16 years caused him to go berserk? Then go back to his 3,000-year-old emotional self. Then do a complete 180 and lose all emotions, and now his soul or his emotions or whatever are trapped in like, what? Like, I'm not sure. Did Assault Mode cause that? If so, why? And why did that not happen 16 years ago? Like, straight up, I'm throwing my shoulders up because I just don't know what's happening. Assault Mode's just super duper weird. It's super weird. And another thing is, why can he treat it as a base? Like, I don't know. Especially considering I can give a pass to most demons for, like, staying in Demon Mark the entire time, just because, like, it's a thing that they're established to do from the moment they appear. Even when they have no magic, fresh out the cut, they're still like, these marks, they're looking kind of saucy. But Meliodas just stays in Assault Mode. Like, straight up does not drop. Even when he's knocked out, he's still in Assault Mode. Like, you can tell by his feet. Like, usually when the character gets knocked out, he just reverts completely. But no, Meliodas just sticks in Assault Mode, even after getting his whole chest split open and getting knocked out. How? I don't know, because Assault Mode's just that form. It's just that. Like, you know, it wouldn't ability that sometimes. So Assault Mode just has weird things all about it. From its origins, to how it's utilized, to how it fails to do anything, to how he just manages to stay conscious magically through it. Like, all of this is surrounding Assault Mode. And the most wild thing about it, the weirdest, wildest, wackiest thing about it, is that it is simultaneously, like, the most proficient form of his. Like, it's the form that he displays the most mastery over in terms of, like, all of his abilities while he's emotionless. Like, he fights Estarossa and Zeldris at the same time while not even looking at Estarossa, by just manipulating the darkness of his cape. Like, what? I mean, I know he can manipulate the darkness, but bro was literally not even directing that bad boy. It was like he moved a muscle. Bro straight up said no with his cape. Because I guess Assault Mode's just that form. But once again, it's just a weird, weird form. And now there are questions about it in the new narrative. Can Tristan use it? Is it just a biological thing? I'd assume it's not inherited from the Demon King. One, because we don't see the Demon King ever go into it. Like, even when he coats himself in darkness, that seems to be a completely different thing. But on top of that, Zeldris doesn't have it. So will Tristan inherit it? Does he have an Assault Mode? Is it in his genes? I don't know. Like, you could argue he was, like, pseudo-entering an Assault Mode when he started to lose control of himself. But I could argue that's more Berserk. Like, him losing control over his internal darkness rather than him actually entering Assault Mode. But, like, will Tristan have access to it? And if so, will it get more justice? Will it be the Gotenks situation all over again? Where Goku doesn't actually get much uses out of Super Saiyan 3, but Gotenks does? I don't know. It feels like Nakaba, when making Assault Mode, was like, you know, I need something special. I need some new sauce to give to Meliodas. And he just did it without thinking about, like, anything else. And admittedly, Nakaba, he thinks about a lot of stuff. I will admit, there are some deep seedings for some early things in the story, if you look for them. But, like, the ramifications of Assault Mode, what it should mean for the narrative, what it should mean for Meliodas' character, and all the different things and implications and weight that it would have on a narrative, just via existing as a higher state of power that was legitimately his higher state of power that he should have had access to for, like, when was Post-Druid Meliodas born? Like, over 200 chapters of the series, Meliodas should have some access to it. Just based on him having access to it in the past, and him getting his powers back around the early 100s. Like, bro, I don't know. And now, the best and worst thing about Assault Mode is that it leaves so many hypotheticals. Like, the door is open. You can have a whole argument about whether an Assault Mode Post-Druid Meliodas could run phase with the commandments. Because it's there. It's possible. He could have done it. He just didn't, because Nakaba didn't think of it at the time. You can have whole discussions on whether or not Mel actually used Assault Mode against Mael. Because we always talk about, well, we don't know what time of day it was when Mel fought Mael. So who knows? He could have not gone into the one. But we also don't know if Mel went into assault mode. I just can't tell you. We also don't know if assault mode has levels. Like, Demon Mark went from a simple 2x amp to, like, there being 3 of them. Even with Zeldris, Zeldris has, like, once again, 3 of them. He has a regular Demon Mark, a second stage Demon Mark, and arguably a third. And the third one even doubled his output. So, who knows? All the multipliers behind the song. Like, there's so many things that are sort of just, like, thrown into the series by the existence of assault mode that I know Nakaba will never address. This is one of the many things in the series where I'm like, Nakaba's never going to answer us. Like, if the final data book was what it was and we got no information on it then, I doubt we're ever going to get information on it now. Because assault mode, if it stays a completely unique facet to Meliodas, which is entirely likely considering no other demon has it, and no other demon comments on it, then Tristan may not even have access to it. He may just be stuck out of luck, especially as a half demon. So bro, may be locked out of it. So assault mode is just going to forever exist as this weird thing that popped up around the middle of the narrative, accomplished pretty much nothing, and left. But I don't know. I think assault mode's super weird in terms of like what it does and everything, even if I think it's super cool. But those are my thoughts. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notification bells to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dago the Pencil, writing off.